boom heard throughout the Wyoming Valley today. There were reports that people's houses shook and folks as far away as Mountaintop reported hearing the rumble this afternoon. Newswatch 16's Clay Lepard talked to some folks to see what they thought about the Big Bang. Clay.
Sophia, it all happened around 3:30 today. A loud boom echoed across parts of Luzerne County. For some, their houses shook. And even 8 hours after it all happened, we're still unsure what exactly caused it all. It takes a lot to wake up 12-year-old Kendra Stelz of Lake Township.
I was just sleeping, and all I heard was a big bang.
A big bang heard by more than just her. Many of you let Newswatch 16 know you heard the loud boom as well. Police and emergency officials say several fire departments were dispatched to try and locate what caused the boom in the back mountain. But they had no luck locating it, and they couldn't find any damage either.
Afterwards, me and my daughter went in the car just around the neighborhood to check the other, people's houses who were behind that field, and we saw nothing else. So it was a mystery to us what it possibly could have been.
People here in Lake Township say what's even more surprising is that no one's been able to figure out what exactly it was. Beatrice Price of Lake Township heard it. She felt it too.
Everything vibrated. I mean, it was short. It was only a couple of seconds, but the whole house was vibrating.
Vibrating so much that her cows and pigs took cover. And that's something she says she's never seen happen like this before.
We have people that hunt and target practice and stuff like that, and there's guns and stuff like that and fireworks and stuff, but it was way louder than that.
There's been plenty of accounts of what people thought they saw, like a smoke trail in the sky. Nothing has been confirmed at this time, so for now, everyone is left to their ideas on what it could possibly be.
It sounded like an explosion. We have a gas place down the road. We thought maybe that the gas place had actually exploded, but there's no smoke or anything like that, so that was definitely not it.
Well, what was that noise? We've had a lot of calls, emails, Facebook posts from you after reports of a loud explosion-type noise in our area Saturday night.
That's right. WSBT 22's Kelly Stopsinski has been working the phones all day trying to pin it down. Certainly no easy answer on this one.
Not really an answer at all, guys. People from here in South Bend all the way down to Warsaw, up to the Napanee area, even as far north as Muskegon report feeling and hearing these noises. But for now, scientists and other experts tell me they are baffled.
Like shook the house. It shook this room.
Emmanuel Reese was sitting right here in his enclosed front porch in Plymouth when he heard that strange noise Saturday afternoon.
I heard a big boom, and they're doing so much construction around here. I thought it might have been a dump truck with the hatch closing or the lid closing, but it was too intense, and I felt it.
And later that night, it happened again.
I didn't think anything of it. Nothing exploded, no siren, so I figured everything was okay. But then I seen it on Facebook, and everybody else heard the same thing too.
Police dispatchers told a South Bend Tribune reporter the noises in St. Joseph County were from railroad work. But spokesmen for Canadian National and Norfolk Southern say their crews were not working in our area Saturday.
A geologist from IU South Bend also tells me that the U.S. Geological Survey hasn't registered any kind of earthquake activity in Indiana or any of the surrounding states in the past 30 days. And he says even if it did, humans probably wouldn't be able to hear it because those frequencies are so far underground.
So this meteor shower, called the quadrantids, was occurring. Radiant was right about there.
Penn Harris-Madison astronomy teacher Art Klinger says he heard the noises too, and it's possible they came from the meteor shower. It peaked around 9 Saturday night.
A larger rock coming in, a stray asteroid going across the sky, could very easily have produced a sound like that.
A few people reported seeing a flash, but it was cloudy at the time, making that theory difficult to prove.
So another explanation Klinger and some area physicists and geologists suggested was a sonic boom. That, of course, is when an object travels faster than the speed of sound.
And you actually called Grissom Air Force Base.
Right.
What'd you find out?
A spokesperson from there told me that they don't even have aircraft that can go that fast.
This is Dapu 7 with an update. to the mystery booms that are happening across the country. Now, believe it or not, people in Idaho here recently have been taking to social media complaining about this, and the authorities have no answers. Now, as you can see right here in Bingham County, Sunday night, residents reported a mysterious explosion. Now, less than a week before this, on Wednesday, there was another massive explosion. This one was felt by many people, and it brought out fire department, search and rescue, police, and they swarmed the area and turned up nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now you can see right here the proximity of each of these places to one another and the amount of people that live there. But they're stating that down here people have been complaining about this, but they're getting no answers. So once again, I want people to know there are mystery explosions happening across this country, ongoing. The police have no answers. These are very real. They are shaking people's homes. This time, Idaho.
There's a whole lot of shaking going on in Chalice. One earthquake measuring 4.9 hit the area this morning, and then a smaller one hit this evening. About 7:30, it measured a 2.6. The U.S. Geological Survey says both quakes occurred about 5 miles underground, enough to trigger some rock slides, but not enough to cause any major property damage or injuries, at least that we know of. Chalice is no stranger to quakes. A swarm earlier in the year prompted seismologists to place measuring devices nearby to record any more activity. But until today, things had been relatively quiet. Now, Chalice is a 4-hour drive from Boise, and yet some folks in the Treasure Valley said this morning's quake felt a lot closer than that. Jacqueline Powell joins us live in the newsroom to explain how the earthquake was bad enough that even some could feel it here. Jackie?
Even though the quake was recorded at a 4.9 on the Richter scale, those who live in Chalice say it felt like it shook much harder than that. This map on the U.S. Geological Survey's website shows that a lot of Boise felt the morning earthquake all the way from Chalice. I spoke with one woman who lives and works in the small mountain town, and she says the quake was so strong there that she's not surprised it was felt nearly 200 miles away.
It was pretty crazy. It was really intense. We've had quite a few of them here, but never felt anything like that before.
This past spring, a couple of Chalice's earthquakes were about the same size. One was 4.1 on the Richter scale, and the other 4.9, just like Saturday's. But Christina Hoyt says this one seemed much worse.
When I looked on the computer and it said it was a 4.9, I thought it was wrong because it just felt more intense than that.
Hoyt says now many in her community are worried that more, even bigger quakes could shake their town.
A loud boom has East Tennesseans baffled over the sound and the source. It rocked Hamblin County bright and early at 7:30 this morning, and no one seems to know where it came from. New at 11, Local 8 News reporter Kyle Warnke spoke with people who heard it today, and Kyle, needless to say, it woke a lot of people up.
Yeah, it certainly did, Amanda, and they say it sounded like a tree falling on their house or maybe an explosion happening somewhere nearby. A few people I spoke with today say they've heard this now several times in the past few years. Hamblin County, Tennessee isn't known for its large population. In fact, being quiet is part of its draw.
Well, we've heard it again this morning. It's not the first time we've heard it.
It was heard around the county. It surprised ears on Knollwood.
I've lived here 30 years, and I probably have heard it a couple of times.
Buffalo Trail didn't see it coming.
1 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, just different times, but it's happened before, and we don't know what's going on.
For some reason, Hamblin County keeps getting loud booms at all hours of the day.
It felt like a tree falling beside the house. It was just like something fell, hit the ground, boom, and it shook.
The latest happening at 7:30 Tuesday morning.
Yeah, just out of the blue.
Just as Bill Warren was waking up.
All of a sudden we heard a loud boom. I mean, it was a strong boom. It shook the whole house.
Inez Wolf heard it at the same time.
Real loud boom. occasionally it shook the house.
And the crazy thing is, no one has a clue as to why it's happening or where it's coming from.
We began with that breaking news in Irving. Another earthquake rattled the city this morning. The latest one happened just about an hour ago.
And it makes 11 quakes in just about the past 24 hours. Irving police say they have got hundreds of 911 calls from scared residents. They've also have reports of damaged homes and cracked walls.
Yeah, and Deborah and Eric, you'll remember 2 days ago I did the story where the SMU seismologist, he was coming here to install a new seismograph to better understand what is happening with all these earthquakes. Since he installed the seismograph right here, there have been 11 earthquakes, and he is studying the data right now, and he is scheduled to make a full presentation before Irving City Council next week. You guys know that will be a very anticipated presentation because a lot of people are scared and they want to know if their homes are still safe. Back to you.
Yeah, Jeff, that's the thing. People are wanting answers right now, and it's difficult for people to accept that you just have to wait for all this to play out.
Yeah, I think interesting to point out also, Dallas City Council meets on Wednesday mornings.
Right.
NBC5's Ken Kaltoff is there at City Hall right now and tweeted about an hour ago that Mayor Mike Rawlings has announced an earthquake readiness plan with Irving to prepare in case these earthquakes get worse, because they're being felt not just in Irving, but we're hearing from other parts of the Metroplex as well.
And the Dallas high-rises, a lot of people concerned in those, especially yesterday.
All right, new at noon, word of a possible earthquake here in Connecticut at about 9:30 this morning. About 50 people in Plainfield called 911 saying they heard a loud explosion, felt the ground shaking. At this point, the U.S. Geological Service has not confirmed that it was actually an earthquake, and local officials are ruling out blasting activity.
There are more questions than answers about a boom so many of you heard across Oklahoma today. Listen to this. People reported hearing this from Edmond, Norman, even Shawnee. But some experts are just baffled about what it could be. KOCO's Bree Steffen has more from the person who made the very first call to 911. Bree?
Well, calls flooded here into the dispatch center here at the Norman Police Department from people all over the area saying that they heard a loud boom and felt massive vibrations. Now tonight, many people are wondering, what exactly was that?
I'm calling because we're hearing continuous sounds like explosions.
Anthony Young was just one of many who called Norman police when mysterious booms rattled his home Thursday morning.
We thought some nut was out here, you know, with explosives.
Calls flooded in from all over Oklahoma, like Norman, Meeker, and Shawnee. Everyone had the same question.
We're hearing loud explosions. My house is shaking. The horses are freaking out. Does anybody know what's going on?
Anthony said the boom shook his house so hard his windows rattled.
It sounded like thunder, but like I said, you could feel the ground shake, and it was nothing like an earthquake. You know, we felt the earthquakes before, and it's nothing like that.
It's not thunder or rock blasting or even fireworks, so what is it? Mysterious, unexplained booms rocking parts of North Georgia. Fox 5's Denise Dillon joining us now live in Kennesaw, searching for answers. You know, Denise, I heard them myself this weekend in the downtown area. I even tweeted about them to see if anybody else heard them. I understand you've been hearing them too.
Yeah, I heard it too. The one I heard was just one loud, singular boom. And I wasn't the only one, obviously. You, me, and lots of folks here in Kennesaw. Last night, it was a night just like tonight, damp, dreary, and it was right around 6 p.m. when people started reporting they were hearing that first big boom. And no one seems to know where it's coming from.
A pretty loud boom.
A boom loud enough to shake the house and scare the kids.
The house was definitely, it shook. We didn't know, what it was. But my kids were so upset and they ran in. They're like, Mommy, what's wrong?
Folks in Kennesaw say they heard the first boom around 6 Sunday night, then several others until about 9:30.
5 fireworks, all exploding at once.
I thought maybe it was a transformer that blew.
While there is a train that runs through town, no one believes that was it.
It was a pretty loud boom, so it wasn't just a couple of trains clanking together.
We checked with the Telescience Museum to see if they had any reports of meteorites or even earthquakes. They said no, but they did tell us sound travels differently in the winter, and it could have been anything from a sonic boom to distant thunder. But Fox 5 meteorologist Jeff Hill says there was no thunder or lightning in the area.
I think we can rule out lightning because, looking at the radar and going back through Sunday, there wasn't any lightning up around the Kennesaw area or throughout Cobb County. If it was something maybe out of Dobbins, maybe some kind of sonic boom, you're going to hear that during the winter time a lot more intensified.
Kennesaw police looked around, but they couldn't find the source of the boom either, leaving a lot of folks coming up with their own theories.
Plate tectonics and the poles shifting. It's definitely a mystery.
New tonight, things that go boom in the night. Dozens of people in Council Bluffs are reporting a mystery noise on Facebook, some even going to the cops. Jackie Ochoa looks into what it could be.
A mystery is rattling Council Bluffs.
It is definitely generating a lot of buzz.
There were these loud booms.
There's a number of different things that it could be.
Sounds like a bomb going off. People are taking to Facebook wondering what is causing loud boom noises in the western portion of Council Bluffs. For Kathy Beatty, it's been happening once a week for about 2.5 months. Sunday, I heard a real loud one in the afternoon and just happened to get on Facebook, and there had been a group started in Council Bluffs following the loud booms.
A lot of people posting, asking questions. There's a lot of people have had the same concerns.
Council Bluffs police say they've responded to a few calls for loud boom noises, but when they go out to investigate, they don't find anything and they don't hear anything. This is one of 2 manufacturing locations for Griffin Pipe. They make pipes that carry water, and Council Bluffs police tell us they don't think it's them making all the noise. Police have also ruled out Mid-American Energy. The thought here was that maybe it was a transformer blowing, but that's not the case, they say. I think there's an explanation. I don't think it's a mystery.
There was another small earthquake this morning in eastern Connecticut, the 12th in a week. Nobody seems to know why. Here's Jerika Duncan.
In the last week, rattled Plainfield, Connecticut residents have made more than 300 calls to 911.
I just had a big explosion. I don't know what it is, but my whole house shook.
It's coming from all over the area. I'm getting lots of calls, ma'am.
Marion Diggs says she's felt every earthquake.
I was sitting in bed drinking my early morning cup of coffee before everybody got up, my time, and all of a sudden I heard this loud boom.
People here have reported minor damage from the 12 earthquakes that have hit between the towns of Danielson and Plainfield. Most have been under a 2 magnitude. The largest occurred Monday morning at 3.1. Seismologists at Boston College Western Observatory are collecting data on the frequent tremors, hoping to find out why the so-called swarms are happening. Dr. John Ebel.
We've had a few scattered epicenters in the past from that part of the state, but this is something that's new for us.
Scientists tell us earthquakes are usually caused when underground plates move from side to side. In Connecticut, the plates are moving up and down. Plainfield Police Chief Michael Supernaut says without answers, the phone calls from worried residents continue.
We can't put our finger on it, and before you even know what's happening, it's over.
It's the talk of the town right now?
Yeah, it's taken up a lot of our time. I can honestly say I think for a week I've gotten no police work done.
Hydraulic fracking has been blamed for causing some earthquakes in Pennsylvania and Oklahoma, but Bob, officials here have ruled out man-made disturbances as a cause.
And while some believe it may be some sort of cold-related tremor, the average temperature last week was nearly 40 degrees.
They thought it was an earthquake, but it wasn't the ground shaking down the shore today. A series of sonic booms left people rattled.
Space rocks big enough to do some serious damage to Mother Earth strike much more often than previously thought.
An asteroid measuring about 1/3 of a mile in diameter made a relatively close but harmless pass by Earth on Monday. During the flyby, scientists even discovered that the asteroid had a moon of its own.
Speculators on the internet
tie the sounds to the migrating point of the North Pole, due magnetic north, that has been shifting.
Making the leap then that this is a precursor to a historic pole shift where north becomes south and chaos ensues.
Cars, buses, even semi-trucks, no match for the massive waves as the storm surge flooded the highway.
Wow.
What is, I don't even know what caused this. We need to look into this and see what happened to cause this, because this is not normal.